My doorman stopped me at the elevator and said, "Don't go to your apartment. Take the stairs to the roof. Listen carefully," he whispered, glancing toward the security cameras. "3 men with guns are in your apartment right now. They think you're dead, but when they don't find your body, they'll come looking." His accent thickened with fear. "We have maybe 10 minutes before they realize you escaped." My laptop bag slipped from my shoulder, hitting the marble floor with a crack that echoed through the empty lobby. "What are you talking about? Who would want me dead?" But even as I asked, fragments of the past week flashed through my mind. The black sedan that had followed me home twice, the strange clicks on my phone calls, the feeling of being watched. Roberto pressed a bloodstained keycard into my palm. "Roof access. Go now. Hide behind the water tank on the east side. Don't use your phone. Don't call anyone. I'll come get you when it's safe." He pushed me toward the service stairs, his hand shaking against my back. The emergency stairwell was a concrete tomb, each footstep echoing off bare walls as I climbed past floors of neighbors who had no idea their building had become a crime scene. My heart hammered against my ribs, each beat seeming loud enough to give away my position to anyone listening. At the 10th floor, I heard voices below me, Russian accents discussing search patterns in clipped professional tones. They were already hunting through the building, checking every possible hiding spot with military efficiency. I pressed myself against the wall, hardly daring to breathe. 23 floors felt like climbing Everest. My legs burned and my lungs screamed for air, but terror drove me upward. The roof door opened to reveal Manhattan's glittering skyline, beautiful and indifferent to my panic. Wind whipped across the exposed surface, carrying the distant sounds of traffic and sirens. I crouched behind the water tank Roberto had mentioned, my expensive suit jacket catching on rusted metal. From this vantage point, I could see police cars gathering on the street below, their red and blue lights painting the surrounding buildings in violent colors. Roberto appeared 20 minutes later, moving with surprising stealth for a man his age. But he wasn't alone. A woman in her 40s followed him, wearing a FBI windbreaker and carrying enough weapons to outfit a small army. "This is Special Agent Diana Foster," Roberto said, settling beside me behind the tank. "She's been working this case for 8 months. His bloodied face looked older in the moonlight, carved with lines I'd never noticed before. Agent Foster studied me through night vision binoculars before speaking. "Mr. Alexander Kane, freelance photographer, apartment 12C. You've been under surveillance since January because of your connection to David Volkov in 15B. She lowered the binoculars. "What do you know about your neighbor?" The name hit me like ice water. "Volkov moved in 6 months ago. Quiet guy, always polite in the elevator. Said he worked in international finance." I paused, remembering details that suddenly seemed significant. "He asked a lot of questions about my photography work, especially my government clients." Roberto and Foster exchanged glances. "Your Instagram post from last Thursday changed everything," Foster said, pulling out a tablet. "This photo." She showed me the image I'd taken at Cafe Luna, artfully composed to showcase my lunch and the restaurant's ambiance. In the blurred background, barely visible unless you knew what to look for, David Volkov sat at a corner table with another man. Between them lay an open briefcase filled with what I'd assumed were documents. The photo's metadata showed the exact time and GPS coordinates of a classified intelligence handoff. "Volkov is a Russian GRU officer operating under diplomatic cover," Foster explained. "He's been selling stolen NSA documents to Moscow for 18 months. Your photograph accidentally documented his largest transaction to date." My mouth went dry. I was just taking pictures of my food. I had no idea, but the pieces were falling into place with sickening clarity. Volkov's questions about my work, his interest in my government photography contracts, the way he'd befriended me with calculated charm. "The man he's meeting is Colonel Alexei Petrov, military intelligence attaché at the Russian consulate," Roberto added. "We've been trying to catch them together for months, but they're extremely careful about surveillance. Your social media post gave us the first concrete evidence of their relationship." A helicopter passed overhead, its searchlight sweeping the adjacent buildings. The routine patrol suddenly felt ominous, like the city itself was hunting me. "If you have evidence, why haven't you arrested them?" Foster's expression darkened. "Because someone in the FBI warned them we were closing in. The operation was compromised from the inside. Volkov disappeared 3 days ago, right after we obtained search warrants for his apartment. That's when the hit order came down," Roberto said quietly. "They decided you were too dangerous to leave alive. Your photograph isn't just evidence. It's the keystone that brings down their entire American network." The roof access door burst open with a bang that made me jump. 3 figures in tactical gear emerged, but these weren't the Russians who'd been in my apartment. They moved with different purpose, spreading out with professional precision. "Federal agents," Foster called out, her weapon already drawn. "Identify yourselves," but her tone suggested she already knew something was wrong. The lead figure raised a suppressed pistol instead of answering. The muzzle flash was barely visible in the darkness, but the bullet sparked off the water tank inches from my head. These weren't federal agents at all. Full story on my channel and linked below.